Well, welcome back to the Sports Max Zone, and we continue talking basketball. At this point in time, we've decided to bring in our NBA expert, Alistair Albert, as he weighs in on our discussion. Welcome, Alistair.
Hi there, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, you joined us in the middle of a heated discussion. I think it's fitting, though, that you start by talking about Steph Curry and how hot he was last night against, a half-string, very young, immature Houston Rockets team.
Steph Curry kind of just got out of that little slump that he was in. I think he had a bit of a subpar January, coming in very strong for the start of the year and kind of slumped off. After he passed that Ray Allen record, he kind of feel like he slowed down quite a bit. But now, with that performance last night, 7 3-pointers, 40 points, 21 points in the fourth quarter, his career high against the Houston Rockets team, like we said, a bit inexperienced and not too great on defense. He kind of just showed them, how it's done. And when you have tenure in this league and accolades, you could kind of throw your weight a bit around. So great performance for him last night. Again, it's another great regular season win. But who knows how he continue this throughout the season and in the playoffs? We'll see.
Yeah, and that's a good question, Alistair. And maybe I'll throw that question back to you. Based on what we've seen from him so far, based on the Golden State Warriors setup, do you think that they'll actually be title contenders?
And no, I don't think so. I think a lot of people were really expecting a lot from Klay Thompson coming back, and I think as we've seen, averaging just about 14 or 15 points per game since he's been back. He's taken a little while, a little bit of rust that needs to come up for not playing for 2 years. Draymond Green has kind of been in and out of the lineup, missed the last 12 games. He's a very integral piece to that team, and if he's not there, the open shots that Steph Curry could get from his playmaking, Draymond Green's playmaking, that lessons for Steph Curry. So he has to work a little harder to get his points. And although he's scoring, it just takes a little bit out of the ease out of the game for him. If these guys aren't 100%, if Klay Thompson can come back to his 20 points a night kind of self, and Draymond Green is not 100% healthy, it's going to be a hard slog for them in this playoffs. The Suns are playing remarkably well. The Denver Nuggets are playing, inspired basketball behind their MVP, the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. The Utah Jazz are always there. Who knows what's going to happen with the Lakers? I don't know what's really going to happen with Steph Curry and this team. They will be in the playoffs. They will be fighting. But I can't see them going all the way if this team is not 100%.
Yeah, Alistair, another discussion we had before the break was the Los Angeles Lakers' troubles compounded now because the big man LeBron has a knee problem and has been out for a few nights and will be out for several nights to come, we're told. AD is back. Can the Lakers recover and be as potent as we thought they were when they were at their best?
A lot of people have been kind of really down on them. There's a lot of scapegoating going on in terms of Russell Westbrook. I know there's lots of discussion about him, and I think I kind of caught the tail end of the last segment where you were talking about him. There's just a lot of people down on the Lakers right now. But call me strange or call me weird. I actually want to see them play after the All-Star break, and if this team could get healthy, what they could actually do. But the sample size that we have so far has not, really proven very well for them. It doesn't look like a team that has a lot of, chemistry. There's a lot of turnovers. Russell Westbrook, of course, to blame for that. LeBron James is still kind of, leading the team. The playmaking that they wanted from Westbrook, and Rondo, who's now been traded to Cleveland. That's been, he just had to take over the reins where that's concerned. Frank Vogel has been making a lot of questionable decisions as a coach. I don't think he's using his personnel very wisely in terms of being able to spare Anthony Davis some of the defensive duties that he has, which leads to him getting injured the way he has or as often as he does. But even with saying all of that, I do kind of think, that team just has so much experience. And, just if they could get into the playoff, get past the play-in tournament, and actually stick as a playoff team, I still am very scared for teams that they play against, because who knows? I think maybe they might click, although they haven't really shown that they could do that right now. But they're still a very dangerous team. But yeah, it's really a lot of praying for the Lakers in terms of, them being able to salvage the season because they haven't shown out really good. But, this team is too experienced and has way too much, value on it that they can't, hopefully recover at some point in the season.
Alistair, in the past couple of weeks, you have become a self-confessed Phoenix Suns fan. They're up against the Brooklyn Nets tonight. That's going to be a testing one. How do you see that game, and are you continuing to be impressed by the Suns?
I'm continuing to be impressed by the Suns, and I've been like I said, very conservative in my predictions and everything. The Suns have just continued to show that they're just a force to be reckoned with. Even without DeAndre Ayton, they've just plugged in guys like Bismack Biyombo, Jalen Smith, who's I think in his third or fourth year in the league, who hadn't been getting much playing time. When he was in the games, he's been producing. JaVale McGee, the experienced guard play from Chris Paul and Devin Booker, they're just leading this team to a next long winning streak. And, I think they're just ready for the playoffs, I think. They're just kind of sharpening themselves, getting that well-oiled machine even more well-oiled and getting ready for that playoff run. So I think right now, as it stands right now, they are the favorites to come out of the West. Unless some other team comes up and show that they could beat them, I don't think so.
Yeah. How disappointing have the Nets been in the past couple of months?
Man, I think there's so many factors to talk about when it comes to the Nets. Kyrie Irving being a bit of a part-time player, missing all the time that he has. Kevin Durant is now injured with, the injury that he has, missing the amount of games that he has. There's a lot of rumors right now going around about James Harden and, whether he will be with the team for the rest of not for the rest of the year, but after this season at least, because he hasn't signed his contract extension. So, that's distractions that are within the team. Although he's been fighting that off and saying, he wants to be with the guys and that's what he's in Brooklyn for. That's still distraction and noise that comes around. And Steve Nash has been getting, I think, some rightful bashing as a coach as well. Making some decisions. The last game, Kyrie Irving, there was a opportunity for him to challenge a call that he didn't. He's showing a little bit of inexperience there as a coach. And I think there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that have affected the Nets this season. And I think the strength that they showed, coming into the season, or the predictions that were being made, they're not living up to it right now. So it has been a bit disappointing. But based on everything that has, gone on into this season, I think it's not really unsurprising.
Alistair, great talking to you as usual on the Sports Max Zone. We'll be in touch.
No problem.
Yeah, Alistair Albert there. And there are 3 NBA games on the Home of Champions tonight. A Sports Max doubleheader with the Washington Wizards against the Milwaukee Bucks. That's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time. That will be joined in progress, in fact, because there's a CONMEBOL World Cup football qualifier that will stretch into that time. But as soon as the football is over, we'll go straight to the NBA fixture between the Wizards and the Bucks. And the Brooklyn Nets, they'll be up against the Phoenix Suns in a 10 o'clock clash, 11 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time. And then on Sports Max 2, we have the Golden State Warriors against the San Antonio Spurs. And that comes up at 8:30, 9:30 Eastern Caribbean time. We go to break now. When we come back, Mariah will have the second set of zone updates.